Welcome back, guys, to yet another World of Warcraft video on this channel. Today we are going to go over a little bit of a plan, and well, not necessarily a plan, but my goals for what I want to do to prepare for Dragonflight. Now, what this video is basically going to serve as is not necessarily this is what you guys need to do, but this is what I am doing. And if you want to do some of the same things for some of the reasons that I'm doing it, then you're more than free to. This is more like I want to maybe inspire you guys, or maybe let you know of some of the things that you might not have thought of to actually go towards Dragonflight. Now, the most simple thing, and that is one of the things that I've been working on for months now, is the amount of alts. Now, you guys have obviously probably seen, if you've been following me over at twitch.tv/Sansful, you have probably seen that I'm working on quite a big alt army. I'm currently up to 83 level 60s, and I'm working towards 250 before Dragonflight. I don't think I'll reach it, but we'll see. Now, before we actually get into the video, make sure that you guys drop a like on the video, also subscribe to the channel with all the notifications on, and drop a comment down below of what you're preparing for Dragonflight. I'd love to hear about it. But let's get straight into it. Besides the whole alt army fact, like obviously there's a lot of things I want to use the alt army for. Now, one of the main things is going to be professions. Now, professions, if you guys haven't looked at it for Dragonflight, obviously it might still change with the alpha, beta eventually coming out. But the way that the new professions are going to work, because they're new, they're revamping the profession system for Dragonflight, is that we are going to have what it looks like a time-gated talent system where you can specialize in crafting specific things. So what that sounds like to me is that if you have multiple characters with the same profession, you can cover everything early on. And they have said eventually you'll be able to specialize in everything. You'll be able to get everything on one character. But what that sounds like to me is that if you have, let's say, a blacksmithing character, you will only be able to go, say, like one line or craft a couple pieces of armor at a high tier level, depending on how they make it. But either way, on the slight off chance that that's insane, I want to have as many alts as possible ready to be able to do that in case it happens. So I'm basically preparing for a possibility. And on top of that, in Shadowlands, some of you guys might have noticed that we have a lot of one-time collectibles like transmog, pets, and some other cosmetic things. And a lot of those items are going to be worth a lot. So also, on top of that, I'll be going out to collect all of those in Shadowlands. But that's actually a very important point. A lot of those things have been starting to show up in Shadowlands. I'm sorry. And I'm 100% sure that we're going to see things like that in Dragonflight as well. Okay, I'm 100% sure that's going to happen again, so having a million alts to be able to get that eventually is a very good idea. Now, on top of that, besides that, it's very, very hard to kind of realize what you want to do when it comes to a new basically expansion, because we don't really know what's going to happen before we actually see the beta. So I'm doing a lot of those things that you could say, okay, well, this is without a doubt going to be good. So I'm also investing, and I'm also saving a lot of things. One of the things that I have been working a lot on is obviously the mission table, as you guys know. And one of the things that you can get from the mission table, and this is one of my investments, is obviously going to be polished pet charms. Now, I have a whole stack of pet charms. You can see I have 60,000 here. I have a lot more on one of my other accounts. But basically, the whole purpose of me holding on to these is we don't know whether or not Blizzard will create a new pet charm in Dragonflight. We'll see that when the beta comes out, whether or not they decide to use this. But either way, having the opportunity to buy a bunch of pets, especially from Shadowlands as well, that require pieces of content or reputation to be able to get those, a lot of people that didn't play Shadowlands are going to want to buy those when they start playing in Dragonflight. Maybe it'll take a couple months into the expansion, but that is one of those things that's, you know, probably a pretty good idea to think about. If you are one that is collecting polished pet charms, it's probably a good idea to hold on to it. Now, another thing that I have also been investing into is anything that is dragon related. Okay, so that goes for whelplings. As you can see, I have a bunch of other stuff on another character, but I've also invested into transmog sets, something like the Dragon Rider set. I'll show you guys right here. Something like the Dragon Rider set here. It's an island expedition mod. This is a very good mod. It's obviously dragon themed, and that is one of those things that is not necessarily going to work out, but it's one of those things that could work out and could become very great. And something that's also going to happen when a new expansion comes out is people are going to go away from all the farming of old stuff like island expeditions, and also a lot of people are going to stop focusing on that to make gold, because a lot of the new expansion stuff is going to be a lot better. So you have a lot of gold making opportunities that you can go for here. There's also going to be the Twilight Dragons set here, which is another dragon related set. I also think this is a good chance of being very good, especially because it's dragon themed. And those are just some of the examples. Another thing that I have also been starting to work on right now is I want to be ready to sell, well, things people would want for the leveling process when Dragonflight comes around. A lot of things have basically hit rock bottom right now. And until we see the beta, and until we see maybe some more announcements towards what's going to happen with Dragonflight, it's very hard to tell what's going to happen, which means a lot of people are just kind of like treading waters and trying to figure out what to do. But from my previous experience with expansion releases, and especially on my server, obviously it's going to be very server dependent. Something like consumables is going to be very good. Bear Tartar is one of those things. Bear Tartar, when Shadowlands released, I was selling hundreds, if not thousands of these every hour before the expansion actually came out. But also a couple days before, and also a couple days into the expansion. Bear Tartar is a speed food. Every time you kill a mob, you get a little faster. The same thing goes for Goblin Gliders. Also a decent thing to stock up on. Something like Sky Golems, as you guys can see here. This is also a very, very good idea. There's a lot of these things where you need to think about, okay, what do people want to do immediately when they start the new expansion? And it could be also something as simple as the Crafter Smart gear that we're currently making, the 233s and the 262s. Something like that. When people get into the pre-patch for Dragonflight, I also want to be prepared for the fact that that's going to happen. So what I want to do here in the next couple of months is probably fill up a couple characters with multiple sets for leather, plate, cloth, and mail. So, you know, the week or two, maybe 3 weeks before the actual expansion releases, I have a bunch of crafted gear that I've crafted for probably what is the absolute lowest price for some of these materials. And then when people want to deck out their character a little bit, maybe a boosted character, get a little bit of you know, some better gear, they can buy that. And chances are that some of that gear is probably going to go up in value, because the same thing happened previously with BFA. And on top of that, there's a lot of other things that I'm also preparing that are a little smaller and minuscule. But that is something that we'll be talking about and also preparing over on the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Sansful. So if you guys would like to follow with us in the journey, we stream almost every weekday from about 6 p.m. CEST. It's always over on the Discord that I post all of my updates, so make sure that you guys join over on the Discord. There's a link down in the description below. We hang out there on and off stream all the time, so if you guys are interested in joining a gold making community, but also just a community, we have a great time over there. But I hope this video inspired you guys, helped you guys out to think about something to prepare for Dragonflight, because a lot of these things are not necessarily set in stone, but they are more like, these are things I want to work towards. And I'll probably make another video once the beta is out, once we get some more ideas and more specific things. But this is just like kind of what I'm doing and what I'm working on right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until the next one, see you guys.